2023, a loss in the Milton mayoral election. 2024, a win in a provincial by-election. 2025, a win in the actual provincial election. Yes, in each of the past 3 years, Zee Hamid has been on the campaign trail. So naturally, this year spells a bit of relief for the current Milton MPP. I chatted with MPP Hamid and asked him if he feels like he's finally had time to settle into his current role.
I do. And one of the things that happened is that I got appointed to a new role as an Associate Solicitor General of Ontario, focused on auto theft and bail reform. And as part of that, I got to learn a whole lot about public safety and crime. And I got to travel the province from east to west and north to south, meet police services, victim services, and a lot of others across the province. And it's been very, very rewarding and educational.
Now, you talked about traveling there, though. As someone who used to be a councillor in Milton, do you find it harder to keep in touch with your constituents because you are out on the road more?
Well, I make sure that I'm right here in my consent office at least 2, 3 days a week. One of the things I did, Jason, is I moved my consent office to downtown Milton, right on Main Street at the ground level, and I welcome walk-ins. We get 6 to 8 walk-ins a week that I see. Sometimes they come in when I'm not here, but I get to hear about whatever's in their minds. And I meet absolutely anyone and everyone who wants to meet, regardless of what their issue is.
I mean, I love that people just walk in and get to talk to you and get to meet you, put that face to the name as well. Is there a common theme that you get as people are walking in, like a subject that they're inquiring about?
Yeah, so surprisingly, or perhaps not surprisingly, over the last year, the economy and job security has become one common theme. That wasn't the case before, but a lot of people are concerned, even those who are working are concerned whether they'll be working 6 months from now or not. And young people entering the job market, it's a really, really tough job market out there. And that's part of the reason why our government is laser focused on growing the economy in every sector, including the manufacturing sector, which is one sector that a lot of developed economies have given up on, but we continue to grow that sector and we'll continue working on it.
Now, you mentioned your role as the Associate Solicitor General for auto theft and bail reform. Bail reform is currently being looked at on a federal level, but as far as auto theft goes, despite what people may think and they hear the news reports, the numbers have dropped. In your opinion, where does that credit go?
It's actually all across the thing. So credit goes to our police services. Our government has actually gone out and funded a lot of things, but also federal government is taking a lot of steps as well, and auto manufacturers have taken steps as well. So this isn't something that any single vertical can take credit for. We've all worked collaboratively, and it's really the collaboration that matters. On the bail reform front, you mentioned that federal government has legislation on the floor, and I, really appreciate that. It's actually really excellent first steps. It targets a lot of things that we've been asking for, but at the provincial level as well, we've tightened a lot of things. We've created this bail compliance dashboard that police services are using. It helps them keep an eye on folks that are violent and repeat offenders that are out on bail, regardless of which community in Ontario they live in. And it has helped increase the security, increase the oversight, and more importantly, increase bail compliance.
2026, let's look forward here. What would you say are your priorities for 2026?
You know what? It'll be all over the place. So on the ministry side of things, I want to make sure that we continue this focus on public safety. As you mentioned, we've seen a big drop on auto theft in the past 2 years. However, to be fair, this drop is coming from a very, very high number. These numbers are still, home break-ins, auto theft, extortion. These are still very high compared to historic average. And I want to make sure that we do better than historic average. So we'll continue working down that path. We presented our government at the provincial level, we do 2 justice bills a year. So our spring justice bill did the first reading of the parliament. It'll pass through. It has a lot of measures that will help. So that's my ministry side of things. On the consent side of things, I have a long-term project. It's a long-term project, and when I was running in the election, it was part of my campaign, but I was very clear that it's a 2031 project. Which is the all-day two-way GO train service in Milton. It's complex because we don't own the GO train line, so we have to work with CP and figure things out. And there's a missing link area where you can build a track, but it's a multi-billion-dollar undertaking. So there's still something we've actually been working on. We've been able to increase a lot of hours and times, but not quite to the level we want to get to. But related to that is Trafalgar Egerton plans. If you look at Trafalgar Road right under 401, I would love to see a second GO station there.